It blew my mind. So maybe this is us, and I think it is. It's us just exploring the human. We're lucky to be human, and human means to feel. And the sadness isn't what hurts. It's our resistance to it. Life isn't what hurts. It's our resistance to it. Anger isn't what it hurts. It's our resistance to it. So once we could say, my mind isn't trusting my beliefs, we just sort of become aware. Again, the 5 steps. Awareness is step 1. We become aware of like, oh, there's a constraint. There's a resistance between my beliefs because I really don't believe it. I'm trying to force myself to believe it. But the more we build the muscle and build the muscle and build, just like the biceps and the triceps and the quads and the calves, it's a muscle we're building. So it's like, oh, right, I'm worthy. I'm not worthless. And then, right, my thoughts have to redo it. So it's a dance between the ego and then the mind. But then it doesn't stop there. We have to feel it. We have to feel it. So ultimately, when I say it, this is the emotional body. So we jump from the egoic body to the mental body to the physical body, from the egoic body, from the mental body to the emotional body. So we got to feel it. So if I say I'm worthy and I feel like I'm a liar, that's resistance. And then again, that's the muscles. There's nothing broken. Step 1 is awareness. And it's looking at the muscles of the conditioning. It's almost like I'm rebuilding my home and I've got these pillars and they were falling and they're not beautiful like the Tower of Pisa. We need them to be absolutely vertical. And so I'm reinforcing, no, I believe I am worthy, fixing that pillar. Then my thought starts to become more.
Welcome to your Wordless podcast, the space where we redefine success, self-worth, and transformation. I am Nierras, the soul-centered architect of transformation, helping you unlock your highest potential and build a legacy beyond limits. Now, whether it is self-mastery, career breakthroughs, or wealth creation, this is where change begins. Now let's dive in.
Nick, it's my honor to be here. And I really love your title. And the first time I read it, I did get you're worthless. And I'm like,
Who is she saying worthless? Is it me?
Said, slow down and read it again. And I did. And I still got you're worthless. I'm like, and I said, Manal, let's slow down and read it again. I don't know, really. It wasn't the second, maybe the third. I don't know how many times I did. It was a multiple. I'm like, I'm worthless. Nick, why are the 2 words like on your show? Have you ever explored why are both words the same? Like, why is worthless and worthless?
Okay, I have my theory on it. Not really a theory. It's the narrative that I have.
Yes.
But I want to know your take on that.
Okay, for me, it's easy. And I hate when I always say things easy because I feel like I might be dismissing the complexity of things. But for me, I guess it comes to a 0-1. And maybe sometimes it's easy, the knowing of it, but not the embodying of it. So I'm very careful when I'm like, easy. And I'm like, Manal, are you just dismissing? But I'm not dismissing. But for me, I believe, and that's why I said to you, oh my God, Nick, worthless, I'd love to discuss this, that we're here on this human journey to recalibrate to truth. And one of the truths that I believe, or the 3, I call it the unconditional 3 in my MATTAIN method, and it's our unconditional worthiness. Worthiness. We're on this pursuit. We think that we have to be good. We're not good enough. We have to be perfect. We have these things, and we are unconditionally, inherently worthy. And I believe love and freedom. But today we'll talk about worthless.
Yes.
And we can inject love and freedom in there because I believe it's the 3 of them that we're pursuing. And I think it's because we feel worthless, but we are worthless. And that's where we're going. So it's sort of this spectrum of gray where you can't see light from dark. And our delusion is actually the illusion.
Wow. Okay. I love that take, Manal. Okay. Stepping back, worthless was the narrative that I said to myself because I was always searching for the answers outside of me. You want to find anything, you want to find home. What are we pursuing towards? It's the feeling. and rightfully so, you said love and freedom. What
Yes.
are we looking for when we get that job or that money? It's that feeling that you're free from any encumbrances, right? And when I said you're worthless to me, it's because I was validating my worthiness based on my achievements, my accolades. And I ask the listeners or those seeing at that, looking at that, you're worthless. I ask you, I invite you, read that again, to read that again.
Mhm.
The juxtaposition of your soul is the opposite of that, which is you're worth it. You're worth everything that you think of in this world. Good and bad, it depends on your conditioning. So, Manal, this is what we're exploring today. And I
Mhm.
want to give this stage to you and explore the idea or the worthiness in your definition, and why is it so inherently difficult to, I don't want to say compartmentalize or define that, and how can we, because we're here in this 3D, but we're spiritual souls first before we're humans. And I love the way you're smiling from ear to ear.
Because everything you're saying is feeding all the truths.
We're souls first before we're humans, and we don't need to be anything for us to be accepted, for us to be loved. We are just worthy as we are. We don't say when the baby is born, we just say, "Oh, you're only worthy to be loved because you have blue eyes." And this one's, you don't do that. You don't. So tell us, Manal, why?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. I can see you're oozing with the vibe. I feel it through the screen. Are you stuck in a job that you don't love, feeling like you're meant for more? It is not in your head, it is in your soul. I am Nierras, and I help high achievers like you break free from burnout, rewire self-doubt, and build a life aligned with purpose through coaching, hypnotherapy, and soul activation. Because let's face it, real wealth isn't just about money, it is about aligned and happy heart, mind, and soul. Now, remember, you are worthy and you are enough. Let's transform your life together. Visit www.thenierrasholisticlifestyle.com to begin.
Okay, the word that you were looking for, I believe, was realize. How do we realize? So I distinguish between knowing something. You said it. We're spiritual bodies living physical lives. Ultimately, we are, I call it celebrating your humanness. We're human. We are human. So what does it mean to be human? It means to feel. To feel. It means to feel. And I'm going to say something and then I'm going to say no. I'm going to change it because I'm very deliberate about how you say words. And it also means to fail. But we're not failing. We're living. It's because we feel like we need to define things as good or bad, as worthy and unworthy, rather than realize that things are just is. It's just sort of the isness of life. We're human. We're meant to be sad. We're meant to be angry. We're meant to be frustrated. We're meant to be shamed. We're meant to feel guilt. We're meant to feel happy. We're meant to feel joy. We're meant to feel bliss. And when we feel these things, I'm going to say a story. I'm going to say story, and then I'm going to pause because I want us to have this conversation. I love the things and the thoughts that you have. I was on a live once and someone came on and we were talking about anxiety and she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so anxious. How can I stop feeling anxious? And I said, well, what's going on? What's going on in your life? And my dog died. I lost my job and my boyfriend or something. It was three major things about a boyfriend, a dog, and a job. And they were all negative. And I burst out laughing. And I said, how do you expect to feel? That's all sad. That's all difficult. I said, have you allowed yourself to cry? And in that moment, when I validated the I don't want to say difficulty, but the sadness isness of it, the difficulty isness of it, and that we're not supposed to overcome that in a moment. We're supposed to allow the expressions of it. She cried and felt better. She immediately cried and felt better. So we are human. We are meant to feel. We are meant to experience. We are meant to live. And it's because we are trying to measure, like you're saying, I used to think I was worthless. I used to think I had to be perfect. I used to think I had to show up some way externally. And when you stop and you realize, no, it's all about showing up internally, which means allowing whatever wants to be. The sadness feels like joy. When you lose somebody, how else are you supposed to feel other than grieving that loss? Yes, you might theoretically know that you're going to see them in the afterlife, that they're vibrationally there. There's more to life than life and death, that you can connect with them. But there's a physical loss on the human plane.
Mm-hmm.
Allowing those sensations take it from being painful to just being in the moment, just being with our physical being. So it's difficult, Nick, because we have this perception that we need to live a certain way and be a different way and show up a different way. And when we turn around, so we're trying to I'm going to use that, paddle up this upstream. But when we realize, you know what, it's about flowing with life and allowing all that is to be and to being in the present moment, it just becomes very easy.
Hi, I'm Nierras, your host of the Your Worthless podcast. Now, if this real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait, your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now. That you just hit all the nails in the head and back and again. I mean, Manal, this is what I'm trying to see, but you cannot help it, okay? Because I'm human, and now we're aware. They say when you've seen things. When I say things, it's the whole spectrum of it. You cannot unsee it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, and you're the kind of person I feel that, like, I know we're here and we have a community that we serve. Don't you have that longing of just being back to source? Like I
Oh
have.
my God.
Okay, wait, hang
You
on,
remind me of one of my girlfriends. Can you?
yeah. I had this thought today just before the interview. I was telling my younger sister. I told her, like, we came from the source and now we're here. We're remembering. Member means you're putting the pieces back together until we're back to the source again. And I said to myself, if I signed up for this, why the heck did I sign up for this feeling of becoming? Because I knew, I don't know, something innate within me that says, you chose this, Nick. You actually signed up for this. And now when you're in the thick of it, you're like, excuse my language, F this. Why is it so difficult? But knowing that, yes, we're meant to experience this because I'm human and I'm on that 3D plane. So I guess the question here, rather, there's no question. Me just telling you and sharing with you what I feel and what are my inhibitions, or just trying to express this humanness within me. And you can tell, okay, I'm jumping here and there. Some people they just don't get it. These things that you're telling the people around you, some will meet you at the frequency where you are at, and some just won't. And this can be, I feel like when you're on this journey, it can be lonely, but it's also not, because people like yourself or there are others that also walking the same path. So I don't know. You tell me, Manal. And I think I stirred something within you.
You have so much say. There's so many things I want to say from what you said, but let's start with the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And let's take a deep breath, everybody, collectively, the audience, all of us. Let's take a deep breath in. And I call it the place between the breath in and the breath out. I call it the gap. Let's just indulge in the gap. And I feel like that is where infinite everything exists, and release. Ooh, okay. So, Nick, a lot of the things that you were saying, the word that I use for it, so I have my engineer's approach to this, and I've got the 5 steps, the 4 bodies, the 3 desires that we haven't talked about yet, but we'll talk to it, because I can see that having what I do is sort of create a process, like an engineering approach to the spiritual questions. And that's what makes it easy. We have a formula, equals MC squared.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
once you have we it makes a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Once you have a formula, and the formula takes us out of the mind knowing and helps us go into all four bodies embodying. So what you're saying is, Nick, I know that I'm a spiritual nature. I know that I came from source. I know all these, but then some days I wake up and I feel like
Corrupt.
exactly. And guess what, Nick? Me too. Me too. And my followers love because I fondly share with them that I'm human. Just because I understand theoretically and can connect to source and have a greater understanding of and compassion towards a human journey, I'm human. I'm human. And in that, it doesn't mean it's moving it from a place of judgment and resistance and struggle and suffering to a place of understanding and compassion and love. So there's a mystery. You keep talking to the mystery. Why are we here? Why are we here? And everybody will have their reasons. This why might be God. It might be vibration. It might be energy. It might be the universe. It could be the Big Bang Theory. It doesn't matter. There's a big why. When we know this why, like truly know it, I don't want to say trust it. I want to say know it. For me, they're all synonyms. And the synonym I love, the noun that I love so much is God. I love God, but I also love universe when we struggle with religion at times. And I also love seeing it as vibration. And I also like seeing it as energy because it allows me to like depersonalize it and go more to a vibrational level and to depersonalize it and just like, I'm just frequency. Money is just frequency. Joy is just frequency. It allows me to become more into my analytic mind. Okay. So we know it on this level. This is the egoic level. Let's call it this. I call it the egoic level. A lot of other people call it spiritual level, but I think it should be called ego because this is where resistance exists. Well, this is where the resistance to us knowing we are worthy. We think we're worthless. It's the resistance to us thinking that we'll never find love. We are love. It's with a place where we think that we're never going to find freedom and that we're controlled and this life is controlling us. We are free. So let's call this the egoic level. And let's just say that we know that we have these new beliefs that say, I am free. I am worthy. I am truth. I am love. Okay. So it's up here. Now let's jump to our mind. Does it believe it? Does it trust it? And the answer is no, because we are conditioned, because this is the architecture of the human design, because we are humans, mere little humans living the human journey, and we're actually meant to relearn it. Yesterday, I was on this wonderful meditation, group meditation, and the concept of like, what if you're a source and you have everything that you want and everything that you need? And when you want the princess, you get the princess. And when you want the food, and then you decide, I'm going to go into a dream state and create all this resistance and then conquer it and create all of these different scenarios where I create fear and then I get the princess and I get this. And then they're like, well, maybe this is what we're in right now. This is our dream state.
Oh my gosh.
It blew my mind. So maybe this is us. And I think it is. It's us just exploring the human. We're lucky to be human. And human means to feel. And the sadness isn't what hurts. It's our resistance to it. Life isn't what hurts. It's our resistance to it. Anger isn't what it hurts. It's our resistance to it. So once we could say, my mind isn't trusting my beliefs, we just sort of become aware. Again, the 5 steps. Awareness is step 1. We become aware of like, oh, there's a constraint. There's a resistance between my beliefs because I really don't believe it. I'm trying to force myself to believe it. But the more we build the muscle and build, it's just like the biceps and the triceps and the quads and the calves. It's a muscle we're building. So it's like, oh, right, I'm worthy. I'm not worthless. And then, right, my thoughts have to redo it. So it's a dance between the ego and then the mind. But then it doesn't stop there. We have to feel it. We have to feel it. So ultimately, when I say it, this is the emotional body. So we jump from the egoic body to the mental body to the physical body, from the egoic body, from the mental body to the emotional body. So we got to feel it. So if I say I'm worthy and I feel like I'm a liar, that's resistance. And then again, that's the muscles. There's nothing broken. Step one is awareness. And it's looking at the muscles of the conditioning. It's almost like I'm rebuilding my home and I've got these pillars and they were falling and they're not beautiful like the Tower of Pisa. We need them to be absolutely vertical. And so I'm reinforcing, no, I believe I am worthy. Fixing that pillar. Then my thought starts to become more self-confident and we're building the muscle. And maybe we do it through meditation. Maybe we do it through podcasts, me and you exploring it. Maybe we do it through running. Maybe we do it through cooking. Maybe we do it through knitting. Maybe we do it from reading. Maybe we do it millions of ways that we can reinforce that muscle and get us into ease. And then we see, I'm starting to believe it and it's starting to warm my heart and I'm starting to feel more calm and more comfortable. And then ultimately our physical body starts to relax, starts to ease, starts to believe it, starts to be it, starts to be it. And so it requires us to be aware of the humanness, which has a tendency to resist all that is. And when we break it down and recognizes that there are four bodies speaking, there's four dimensions, multidimensional, and we take the time to hear what the different dimensions are, recognizing that they're just leading us to truth. That all of the resistance that we're feeling is leading us back to recognize, this is step two, what's desired. Acknowledgement. Step one is awareness. Step two is acknowledgement. Everything that we experience is reminding us that we're worthy, we're love, and we're freedom. And so I'm looking for success. Oh my God, I don't have it. I want it. I'm looking for worthiness. I'm looking for that relationship. I can't find it. I'm looking for love. I'm looking for a new car or money. Oh my gosh, I'm actually looking for freedom. So once we realize that all of the external unfoldings of life is actually directing us to our internal desires of worthiness, love, and freedom, which is what I call the unconditional three, things start to interesting. Life is getting me back to remember, Nick, what you were saying, to remember I'm worthy, to remember I am love, to remember I am free.
Explain to us, Manal, the steps that you mentioned, how it played out in your life. Just pick and choose any moments in your life where you felt these or the people that you helped with that you can really remember. Oh, that steps that you said and it manifested in reality in 3D. Yes, please go ahead.
Nick, single day, every moment. I can't say that there's not a day that I have to stop myself and get into alignment to recognize that what I'm experiencing is here to teach me. So every day I'm in relationships. I have children, three. We forgot when you mentioned who I was. We forgot mother of three. Our children are our greatest teachers. My parents are amazing teachers. My brothers, my nieces, my nephews are amazing teachers. My friends, my partner. Life is the most amazing. Yes, there are pivotal moments. I could talk about my divorce, which was a very significant event where it made me question having children, made me question my identity and make question myself, and truly have one of the biggest defining moments. Having children and divorce were the two biggest defining moments where I had to question my identity. And if you remember, we go back to the egoic body. This is where we hold our beliefs and our identity. And ultimately we want to get to I am. And during those two crises, I'll put them in, I went from being a professional to a mother, and what's my value if I'm not a professional and if I'm just a mother. Okay, that one was huge, and it took me years. I disguised I was a professional when I dropped my kids off at school, and I disguised I was a mother when I worked professionally. And I was fortunate enough to have the flexibility to do that because I had flexibility in my profession and flexibility. So I could go at 9 a.m. to pick up the kids, and I could go at 1 p.m. and pick them up again from preschool and wear that hat of being a casual, relaxed in my jeans. And I could get on there and get on a flight and go to Houston and go on to London and do this. And I was fortunate the way that my career was aligned. But me trying to come to terms with my identity during that big crisis moment, and the second time during divorce. Am I a mother? Am I a family member? Am I my wife? Am I a value? If I have a divorce, is there any value? And culturally and societal, no, it means that you're a failure. And it took me a long time to come back and get to, and sometimes I still struggle with both. Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
okay, I could my defining moment was the time when I got divorced as well.
Mhm.
And then at the time I was at the height of my career, and then everything came crumbling down because I had said to myself, if that person who I loved so much and we decided to go in our separate ways, that means I am not worthy to be loved anymore. And therefore I must not, and therefore I have failed in the relationship department. Therefore, I should just focus on what I do best, which is studying and working. But no, it's like I had to unlearn everything to relearn again. I had to lose myself to find myself again. And now I'm 5 years in that journey because you're walking, and then sometimes being human, you tend to look on the left and on the right and say there are things that fragments of what you believed before, and they're all just construct of the mind, but you need to move forward towards that truth, towards your higher self. Now I know, and I know I don't want to misuse the word know here, because knowing means again you're being in your ego.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's the being of it, like you mentioned. Now I'm understanding it. I'm diving deep into it. I'm immersing myself. It's the being, understanding that these are necessary to how you're walking towards your path or towards your truth. But some days like today, I just don't know why. Like, I feel like, hey, you just want to slouch and just don't do anything. I have days like this, but then there are days like tomorrow, okay, I am pumped up, I'm in my purpose, and I'm gonna go. Now, at times when I feel like that, I cannot help. Sometimes I do blame myself. Like, I'm very self-critical before, but right now I'm self-critical I hope for the right reasons, because again, knowing that I'm on this journey and I'm supposed to feel every range, the spectrum of emotions that comes with me being human. Coming back to your what you mentioned just now, it's the embodying and the knowing on top here, the mental and the feeling of it. It's like immortalizing those sensation, those feeling, but at the same time you're nothing as well. I don't know if people listening to this will be like, is she psychotic?
But I mean, you're dead on though, Nick. You did. Okay, knowing on the egoic body. And when I talk about the egoic body, I talk from a place of love. And ultimately, when it's resistant, it thinks we're not worthy, we're not love, and we're not freedom. But when it's resistant free, it's radiating truth, radiating I am, radiating beauty. And it could be, we could call it spiritual at that point. So it's it's the bridge between spirit and truth. So the egoic body is very important. The reason I call the ego too is everybody has a negative connotation about the ego. But if we have an ego, it has a role. And I believe it's part of the human experience. We need to celebrate it. So I will never speak of the ego negatively. So it's know it, just know it. So we know we're vibrational. We know we're beautiful. We know we're worthy. We know we love. We get into the space of knowing that there's a mystery and knowing we're part of the mystery. And we just sort of build up that muscle and we create the space for it. We take a deep breath in and we just know that we're beautiful and there's a greater meaning to life and that we're human and feeling is part of us being human. So we sort of see how we've built up this egoic. We sort of built this beauty, and grounding is not the right word because we're actually connecting to not the ground, but it's the equivalent of grounding on the egoic body. It's like connecting to truth, to the mystery. And then we go to our mind and we see, do we trust it? And in this moment, I trust it. And maybe in 5 minutes, I don't. And maybe in an hour, I won't. But right now, I trust it. And so I see as I go from my egoic body, from those beliefs that I just am, and I go into my mental body and I see it's at peace and it just loves, and it loves myself and it loves everything I'm going through. And then I can go to my emotional body and I can feel. So know the truth, trust it in the mind, feel it in the emotional body. I can start to feel warmer. I can feel truth. I can feel powerful. I can align with my inner power. And then ultimately I'm embodying it. My body's relaxed and I feel it. So it's aligning the 4 bodies to know it, trust it, feel it, and be it. And Nick, if there's a day that you wake up and you don't want to do anything and you want to sit on the couch, do it if you can. If you can't, for whatever reason, then there needs to be some sort of like grounding exercise to just sort of get yourself into focus to do. But if you can, do it. Nick, there are things that I want to do for months and I don't. And then all of a sudden, in a moment, I do everything in an hour, a week. And I'm like, Manal, why the heck did you not do this last week or a month ago? But when I finally do it, I'm happy. It all flows. Everybody comes together and it gets done from a place of ease, flow, pleasure, happiness, joy. So wait till inspiration knocks. And if inspiration tells you that today's a couch day, do the couch. If you can, do the couch. If you can, do the walk. If you can, do the yoga. If you can, do whatever you need to do and wait till inspiration knocks.
I think I manifested you. Just minutes before this interview, I was talking to my sister about dream state, about how the mind is a muscle. The exact words that you were mentioning were the words that I used half an hour ago or an hour ago. And I'm like, Manal, imagine that if I could somehow, I don't know, energetically align this to what's happening. And now I want to project the infinite possibilities that's in front of me. So let's say I want to hear your take on that. If somebody is wanting to achieve some sort of dream, a successful business, I'm going to turn it to a professional setting, successful business, a career, or they want to be a model. How do you attract that in your life?
Woohoo! My favorite is manifestation. My favorite is law of attraction. My favorite is we are creators. We came here on this human journey to create. We came to create. So, first of all, if you want to start to manifest, and it doesn't matter if you want to be a model and you want a successful career, if you want to sell 1 million books, it doesn't really matter. What you start to do is, first of all, step 1 is awareness. What is it? Awareness. Awareness is ultimately, if you can feel it internally, it will manifest externally.
Can you help bring in the concept of time here?
First of all, time does not exist. It's an illusion and a delusion.
Okay.
Time does not exist because we're talking on the spiritual level. Yes, on the human level, there's time. There's a minute. You and I are scheduled for an hour. We will post this on X day. I don't know, are you doing real time or not real time? We're going to see what tomorrow brings. I'm scheduled to walk at 10:30 with my girlfriend in Vancouver. Yes, on the physical plane, there is time. On the spiritual plane, on the manifestation plane, on this egoic plane where we get to play and create, there is no concept of time. So what I like to say is, for my highest good at a time that's for my highest good. And you just sort of take time and recognize that the flavor, I taste everything because I feel that taste gets you out of your mind and lets you be more objective. So with my lives, me and my followers always, what does it taste like? We're always tasting. And usually I get them to eat sushi with wasabi because I'm always present when eating sushi. So let's taste it. Time is just a human concept. And if I'm going to manifest, I'm just going to have the knowing, the belief, the trust that it's all going to evolve. And here's another the most beautiful thing about manifestation. The most beautiful thing that when I realized this one thing, it freed me. We don't need to say how. That's the universe's job. The how. What we dream of and create this internal feeling is, let's go back to being a model. That was yours, not mine. That
Okay.
came from.
Okay. I mean,
No. Let's pick the model.
yes.
Let's pick the model.
Yes, let's
Okay.
pick the model.
Let's pick the model. Okay. So right now, a model, I imagine, has this sense of like just confidence, not necessarily worthiness, because she's probably struggling with it, but it doesn't matter. It's confidence. And so for confidence, self-confidence, that's a physical manifestation of worthiness. So we get to play with our worthiness muscle and we just recognize, do I feel worthy walking down that catwalk, strutting around, getting to the end, doing a twirl and seeing all those people and just putting my arms out and just feeling like I can own that stage? Like, can you start to imagine the flavor of the excitement, that adrenaline? Can you see yourself just decked out so beautifully? And it doesn't matter what you want to show. And maybe you got this gorgeous designer purse, or maybe it's not even a designer purse. It's just this artist that takes things and just repurposes it. And you're holding this really cool purse and just really cool jewelry. And you're in just a way that you just feel like, oh, I'm it. I'm it. And there's just so many people that would just love for me to play with them and to be it with them and to walk up and down that stage, to have the camera in front of me and just click, 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 click. And you just ask yourself, can you feel it and truly imagine it? And the answer is yes. Fantastic. Just play with that as much as you can. The answer is no, and you feel resistance, then fantastic. Let's play with that resistance. Play with that. Maybe in your throat that you feel like you can't feel your truth, or maybe in the pit of your stomach you feel like you can't, or maybe in your egoic body you feel this like, I'm not good enough. And then now you know what the universe is showing you that you get to work on, you get to muscle. You get to go to the gym and muscle that bicep or that tricep or that quad or that calf. You can see if you start to feel this any reaction as you get into that mode of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get that call. I just know, I can feel that I'm just aligned for it. I can feel that I'm ready. I can feel like it doesn't really matter if I get the call or not, because I know that I am. I don't need to wait for the external universe, the external world to validate what I already know. So now at this point, can you see that it's irrelevant whether you are a model or you're not a model, because the feeling of being a model is so strong that you've already created what you're looking to create externally. So it's irrelevant. We're talking about riches, that if I already feel free, I already feel like I make any choices that I want. Doesn't matter what the bank account says, because I already feel it. And then that manifestation is when it comes. It's when you're surrendered that you really don't care. Again, the 5 steps: awareness, Step 2 is acknowledgement. It's what's desired, this inner feeling of worthiness, love, and freedom. Step 3 is appreciation. And that's appreciation that we're spiritual beings, we're vibrational, that we're creators, that we're here, that there's a mystery. So step 3 is we get into this like mode of it's not intellectual, it's embodying this appreciation. And then step 4 is allowing all of the juices and the energy. And then step 5 is surrender. And when you're in surrender, that's when all of the manifestations happen. Surrender, you can manifest the car, the woman, the career, the man, the bank account, the child, the travel, the adventure. And surrender, when you're surrendered to the universe and you're allowing all that is to be, that's when you manifest anything you want. And you don't say, why is it not here? Because we are creators. We are creating. We are creating.
And the how is the job of the universe.
The how is the universe. Don't think, but when the inspiration hits, Nick, when we were talking, and this is how you build that muscle. When your body says to you, sit on the couch and relax, maybe it's giving you the time to meditate. Maybe it's telling you that when you relax, you're going to go on Instagram or your email and something, and all of something will hit in your email box. Maybe when it tells you to relax, you're going to look up and you're going to see that you need to paint your wall, and you're going to quickly call them and you're going to get painter. And then that person's like, oh my God, you're amazing. You're beautiful. My brother is this part of this market, this magazine, and he's looking for somebody to do something. Are you available this afternoon? Maybe the universe is putting together all these things serendipitously. And when you listen to it and says, stop here and get a coffee, you go into the restaurant, and in the line beside you is the editor of Vogue, and says, oh my God, you are so beautiful. I've been looking for somebody exactly like you. Oh, and you're like, oh, I'm a model. And like, oh my God, give me your number. That's when, so when we learn to listen to the universe, which means sitting on the couch, which means going and getting that coffee, which means relaxing, which means picking up that phone. That's when we start to allow the universe to put the how into place for us. So when the universe says sit on the couch, sit on the couch.
Talk to us about detaching from the outcome.
Okay, that's what I'm going to call surrender. Okay. And ultimately, you started this whole conversation. You talked about external versus internal. Like you started it. You started it.
Yes. Guilty as charged.
Exactly. Internal versus external. When we're attached to the outcome, that's resistance. We are only happy conditionally. The whole point of the universal experience, the human experience, is for us to realize how to be unconditionally satisfied, unconditionally happy, unconditionally worthy, unconditionally love, unconditionally free. If we say, I'm going to be happy when I get my this, when I get my do, when I achieve this, when da 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 da, that's conditional. And that's fake. It's not real. So ultimately, it's step 5. It's this place of surrender. It's this dance with the allowing of the universe, the flow. It's about recognition that when the resistance occurs, we go into step 1, and that gets us present. Step 1 is about being present in our 4 bodies, our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our egoic body. They are all singing. All 4 bodies are singing. Are we listening? So we go to step 1. And then step 2 is acknowledgement, is realizing we're growing, to remember your word, our worthiness and our love and our freedom. So step 2, we go into, it's like, oh, right, my emotional body is screaming because I've forgotten that I feel like a failure, and I forgot that I'm worthy internally, and I'm measuring myself externally. So step 2, you go to a greater level of awareness where you're sort of recalibrating to truth. And then step 3, you sort of go bigger. You go out and you sort of say, oh, let's get out of my physical being. Let's go out of my egoic being, and let's get into this larger lens of recognizing, oh, I'm a creator. Oh, this is vibrational. This is God. You know, whatever your beliefs are, this is when we lean into our beliefs, and then we start to appreciate life, and we start to have a lens from taking it personally to recognizing there's a greater meaning, and we go into the vibrational element. And then step 4 is we allow. I used to call it letting go and releasing, but now I realize it's allowing. We allow everything to be. We let go of that resistance. So if my body says, go on the couch, I don't resist it. I say, oh, what are you trying to tell me, couch? Oh, my child is there and wanted a hug, and they wanted me to just be there for them. Oh, my cat is there and she wanted to jump onto my lap and just be pet and cuddled. oh, a phone call came in, and if I was running to my bedroom, I wouldn't have seen it. That phone call was somebody telling me to be prepared that there's this new, um, scout that's looking for a model, and I have an opportunity, and I received that call. So we go into the allowing. And then step 5 is when we master all of these, we're in surrender, which is what you called the detachment from the outcome. And just life is just unconditionally delicious. It's just unconditionally delicious.
I love how you're incorporating taste into it, because people can abstractly say feel. Now, feel is something very abstract. So when you're angry, you cannot feel appreciation at the same time. But when you put taste, it anchors you into something more tangible. And I think that is the key for you to realize it and manifest it into something tangible. And then I love when you said you just already are. You let go of how you're going to become a model. You just do you, because you know in time you will become that model. You will walk that runway.
And then I'll just shift that a bit. You are a model. I don't need somebody to tell me I am a model. What am I? I'm a model. You are a model. And ultimately, I am. We don't want that identity. So ultimately, what is that taste that we're trying to get from being a model? Is it success, external success? Is it the money? Is it the validation of my beauty? So just taste like for that desire of model. Is it for the thrill of being a model? If it's for the thrill of being a model, then you're close to manifesting it. But if it's for validation that I'm beautiful, there's resistance in there because you're beautiful. You don't need anybody to choose you, to tell you you're beautiful, and then a world to see you you're beautiful. If it's for the money, then again, what is it? The freedom that you're looking for? And then embody that feeling of freedom. And if it's for the money, do you really want to be a model, or do you just want the money and you're looking at how to get the money rather than the money? So you're not at the root cause. You're not at you're not at the lowest common denominator. You're at, I want to be a model to get money. Well, why don't you just manifest the freedom and let the universe decide if there's a better how for you? With that example of model, we really want to get to why. What's the taste of it? So I'm validated that I am beautiful. The universe is big X. You are beautiful. I don't need you to go on a catwalk to say that you're beautiful. But if it's because the thrill and the excitement of travel and playing with all of these fun people and going with other people that love fashion and enjoy the clothing, and you want to go around there, now you're starting to taste the thrill of it, the creation of it, the adventure of it. So why do you truly want to? What's the root purpose, the root cause?
Distilling it down to the purpose and the intention of it. That is the key, like taking it up a notch to beyond the feeling of it. That's why I always say everything that I do, what is the intention? Why do you want to pursue speaking? Why, I ask myself, why do you want to pursue coaching? Why do you, now sometimes the analytical mind comes in because I'm an accountant myself.
Yes.
And I try to reason everything. So it's a beautiful dance between having control and letting go. And I know control has a bad connotation to it. Letting go means going with the ebbs and flows of life. But to a certain degree, as humans, we have these parameters that we should operate within. It's a delicate play. It's a delicate balance that we go here and we go on the other side as well. And 52 minutes have gone by, Manal. I mean, the questions that I have that you've given me are actually very, very valid too. And I really, really want to have you on for another episode, if that is fine with you. So
I would love that. And I would love to hear questions that the listeners have. I'd love to see what woke up in them and what poked at them and what excited them and what inspired them and the fringes that we should go at. Because we went to a lot of different fringes, Nick. We had a
Oh
lot of
yes.
fun.
Oh yes. I think we sort of, I had the idea of, okay, introduction. I even forgot to ask you your backstory. Like, why did you choose, where were you before and where are you now? What is your backstory? Like, who is Manal? And I know I gave your introduction. You're an engineer and you're a TEDx speaker, but if you could delight our listeners, like your backstory, and I know we did touch on it, on your divorce and you having kids. So tell us, can you shed some light on who and all it?
Yes. I try to just come to I am. I really have been trying so hard to recognize that it's not my identity, but it's my radiance, my light, my truth that I want the world to taste and to feel and to know. I come from parents that my dad's the engineer, he's the thinker, my mom's the mom, and she's the lover, the heart, the care, the warmth. And I feel like I'm such a blend of the two of them. And my dad's like this, like go straight to the root cause and think things and logical, but my mom's just compassionate about, and I can do both with like
The
just like this.
nurturing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do both of them and dance through them. I was an engineer, bachelor's and master's, a professional, software sales, on the board of all the schools, the chair of the board, my kids, and I love education. I love reading. So still I'm on the board of Durham Nativity School and still believe that education is the way to free us all. So I have this like really professional side. And my mothering taught me so much about life and seeker, always looking and reading about religion and then fiction and professional books and all these different things, Malcolm Gladwell, all these things, that Seed of the Soul, all these different books. And I realize that whether it's fiction or nonfiction, or whether it's about business or whether it's about spiritual, it's all saying the same thing with different words, like all the lessons and everything. So I started to see that how I read everything it all came. It didn't matter if it was a fiction or if it was nonfiction, if it was business or it was spiritual, it all had the same sort of Eastern, Western medicine, functional medicine. It all came to the same thing somehow. I don't know if that makes any sense. And so then
Yes.
I had my professional life and and then the divorce, I felt like everything crashed. Something on board work that I was working on, and there was two board things that sort of crashed. My divorce, just it was this big crash. And in that crash, huge self-discovery. I spent, I think, 2 years maybe nesting, meditating, questioning. And then that's when I created my insight and listened to a lot of meditations on Insight Timer. That's when I created my Insight Timer profile. That's when my voice started to develop. That's when I started to allow the seeker to start to have her voice. So without that crash, Manal, as you see it, would not exist. She would still be the wife and the mother and sort of living in that shell and not coming out and sort of coming into who I really was. So when you sort of see that, it was almost my butterfly moment. It was that somehow was needed in my life for me to come up and show up in a different way, because I really don't see that I would have done it because things were just too comfortable.
The universe had to introduce tower moments in your life for you to nudge you towards your truth. And people always blame God when things like that happen. So if you could share, anybody's listening right now, they're probably having their own tower moments too. What are you telling them? And what is the first step? Okay. Is it your awareness? It's easier said than done, but again, it's easier done than said. So
Oh, I love that. Okay. So in my book, the first thing that I say, it's hard until it's not. So just like you're saying, it's easier done than said. It's hard until it's not. The first push-up is hard until it's not. And then we can do 100. And I don't know if I can do 100 push-ups, but just made, it's hard until it's not. Riding a bike is hard until it's not. Rollerblading and roller skating is hard until it's not. Reading is hard until it's not. Speaking is hard until it's not. It's hard until it's not. So first of all, for whoever is going through, and I love how you define it, a tower moment, because a tower is a positive thing. It's sort of a building. It's not your collapse moment. It's not your fall moment. It's your tower moment. I'll just say, allow what is to be. If you just allow what is to be, you remove 80% or 90% of the resistance. Because the resistance is us thinking it should be a certain way, the control we're trying to assert, the pain that we speak to, that we're perceiving. One of my favorite meditations and talks that I've written is about meditation, is about mourning and grieving the loss of a loved one. Actually, it's the loss of anything. There was one point during my coaching that somebody lost a cat, somebody lost their parent, and someone lost a relationship. And it didn't really matter the significant severity of one's a cat, one's a human, and one's a relationship. They were manifesting it equally as emotionally, is the word, or almost the loss of the parent was the easiest of the three because it was older and expected, and the loss of the cat was a more younger, less mature person. So I would say that they were in more pain than the loss of the parent, and that the relationship they struggled significantly with. So I realized that a lot of their pain was because they were resisting it. And if we just allow where we are, allow the expressions, allow the sadness, allow under the sadness is anger, or allow the anger, and under the anger is sadness, whatever it might be, just allow. I talked about during my tower moment 2 years where I practiced allowing whatever my mind needed to say, whatever my egoic body needed to say, what about my physical body needed to say. I just allowed it. And just carry yourself as you would a baby. Carry yourself as you would somebody you would love, and just allow yourself, not by indulging in it with limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs, and I'm never going to get better, and I'm a loser, and life is, that's not what I mean by allow. That's just limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs and limiting everything. I'm just saying allow by being present with what is, getting out of your mind and being in your body, and seeing that my shoulder hurts, seeing that my throat hurts, seeing that I feel like so alone, honoring that I'll miss them, then feeling that warmth of happiness when I realize that I had them in my life, letting the window open so the sun can come in, seeing the love that I'm getting from all these people around me that want to support me through it. During my tower moment, all these people came and they were supporting me and loving me, and I got to see the difference between the characters of all these people, how blessed I was to be able to identify people at their core being by the way that they held me during my tower moment. So in that awareness, you open your eyes and you also see the beauty.
Gratitude and appreciation, despite whatever that's happening.
Embodied, felt, not intellectualized,
Mm-hmm.
but because you allow the sadness. And when you allow it, then you can feel the sun. You need to allow it all so you could feel then the truth. And then you realize those moments, not I should be fortunate, I should be lucky, I should feel this way, I should be, no, just wait till it comes out in it, just the flavor of that cherry. Wow, look at that. I'm so lucky. There's so many people that really care about me. And then, but I'm so sad. And then allow that sadness. And then that moment of authentic appreciation, embodied appreciation, will come in greater bursts and allow you, because when you allow everything, the truth is beauty, the truth is love, the truth is freedom, the truth is worthiness.
Big hug from me to you right now. This is what I needed today, and I think this is what the listeners are needing too. I don't know, somehow the stars align for us to speak today, and you've just given me this burst of energy and this burst of I guess this is why I needed to rest prior to the interview for me to receive this download, because I was questioning some things, and this is what I'm receiving, because I always believe, don't look at the messenger, look at the message. And you are the message today. So, Manal, I thank you for that. And I love you for that. What are you working on currently?
I am working on so much today that I like that it's sometimes overwhelming and I have to breathe and come back into it. I'm revising my book that I wrote, Transcending Anxiety from Fear to Freedom. I went through, and the first time it was like, wow, this like inspiration that and I just didn't go through a lot of the processes. So it was a while ago. And so I decided to get it professionally edited and to get validated. And now I was looking for validation.
But somehow I feel what you're going to infuse is this knowingness
Mhm,
in why you're revising it. I
mhm.
could almost feel when you said you're revising, it's because Manal's higher version is present in that as an element or is imbued in the content of the book. And this is why you're doing it. And whoa, okay, I cannot
Yeah.
wait
Yeah.
for
So
that.
I'm revising it. And I have this inspiration for picture books.
What is
So I'm
that? Oh,
a picture for empowerment series for young readers that is
right.
talking about all of the principles that we're talking about how to get present, talking about law of attraction softly, talking about purpose, that you are your purpose. Stop looking for purpose. That's what my TED talk is stop looking for purpose. You are your purpose. Stop seeking, start being.
Manal, break it down. Are you saying follow your joy and that is your purpose?
Exactly. We are our purpose. Stop looking. How do you know that you are embodying? I'm going to use that word again, embodying your purpose is when you are feeling joy. So this is the calibration system. This is Siri. This is GPS. Sorry, there, I gave Apple a plug. I don't know. Google. Sorry, Google. It's your Google. Who else should I? Waze. All of you. It doesn't matter what navigation system you use. Your Tesla. Oh my goodness. Alexa. Okay, Alexa,
Oh, yeah.
you're in there too. Bixby. Bixby.
Yeah,
Bixby.
Bixby.
Did I miss anybody? I am inclusive to all your listeners. So it doesn't matter what navigation system you use. It's your emotional system. So when you know in your egoic body, I am my purpose, and then you allow your thoughts to be, how do you know? It's when you bring joy, when you're feeling happy, when you're allowing this heart to lead you. And I know I talk about sadness and anger when we're grieving because that's following your heart. So it's not, you don't have to always be happy. We just need to allow the expressions of what is to be. So I'm very careful because when I'm writing a book, the boy that's working for me, I call him a boy because he's a young man like my daughter. He's like, Manal, what if I'm being chased by a bear at this moment? And I'm like, well, you wouldn't be reading the book.
You'd be taking cover.
You wouldn't be on page 85. But yes, if you are in a moment right now of anger or sadness, it's allowing that. And when you allow what is to be, you are following your purpose. And that generally is feeling happy, excited, joyful, kind, flowing, relaxed, comfortable, calm, ease, abundant, beauty, flow. Those are all my favorite words. Surrender, surrender.
You reminded me of the map of consciousness.
Mm.
Beautiful. I'm just soaking it all in. So Manal, what is next for you?
What is next for me? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying that. The stage. The stage.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The stage. I was watching the oh my goodness, the Bob Dylan movie. I couldn't find his name. Bob Dylan. I was watching the Bob Dylan movie on the weekend, and when he was standing and doing that big concert at the end, what state was it in? I was like, my goodness, that's me. Like I can see, and I took Bob Dylan off there, and I put Manal El-Ramly, and I could, I tasted it. That's what I do. I like when I'm watching things, I'll allow myself to taste it and like dive into feeling and embodying that. So that was Manal on stage up there, and she was just speaking truth, and with people that are seekers that are looking for truth, and just this joyful, amazing, powerful, energetic events celebrating our humanness, celebrating our beingness, celebrating every aspect of what it means to be human. Are you coming, Nick?
Myself because what I am envisioning, it's here. It's like you, me, and few other truth seekers that I know that's in my head right now. They're like, we are a tribe and we need to come together and just speak this out to the world and collectively raise the consciousness up. You are just, those words are music to my ears. So, Nick, you're in the process. I'm being refined at this point, and me meeting you today, it's just confirmation that I'm on the right path. So trust and know, Nick, that it's already there. You're just walking towards it.
Yes, trust.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
creators. We can't already be in creation because then we're not creating. If we are constantly in creation, when are we creating? Because even somebody could look at me, well, Manal, why aren't you on stage yet? Because I'm creating it. I'm working on a backyard project. I'm working on a project in the house. It's going to take the X to make it done. And I didn't want to create that before because I was creating my children, creating my life. I was creating a lot of different things. And this is what we're going to on the path to creating. And so I've had to work on not judging where I was and feeling like a hypocrite for, and it's like, no, Manal, we're on the path of creation. We are creating. We are creators. How can I constantly be where I want to create? Because then there's no fun in the creating. And so sometimes I imagine, Nick, that I'm baking and I am baking. Like Manal's manifestations are baking. And so I'll put in that so right now is the first time that I publicly said it so clearly that I want to be on stage. And you set me up with that model. So we already were like imagining, and I was imagining a model. I wasn't imagining me during that one. I was really trying to embody being a model during that example.
Yes.
But then I said, okay, the stage is the first time, but I'm going to imagine that this is what I do sometimes, that I stick this in the internal me and I realize that it's baking. So you talked about this concept of time. I'm not going to be attached to that outcome, but I realize that in there, it's baking. And whether the universe / God / life wants to take a week or 3 months or 6 or 9 or 18, a baby is 9 months. Doesn't matter what the universe is. I know it's baking.
I love you.
This has been so much fun. This has been fantastic.
It has. Okay. I don't even want to pivot to a self-worth question because we pretty much touched on everything. Manal, I guess I want to go to the heart. What is your heart's greatest wish?
It's sort of an easy one. And did you see how I just unconsciously set up a big sigh? My greatest wish is for us as human beings, stop taking life so seriously. My greatest wish is for us to all just realize, like, we're humans, guys. We're humans. Let's just enjoy it. And even can you see the energy behind that? That wasn't love and compassion. That was like frustration and anger. And it's directed at me too. So it's even like, Manal, your wish is so jaded. Like, I just want, like, Nick, you are beautiful. And you're like, I'm in struggle this morning. No, Nick, you're inhuman. We're humans. And I wish we could find some more peace for this journey, this joyride. It's almost like, guys, we're strapped in. Okay, now I'm going to be promoting Disney, but if you want to go to Universal Studios or your local amusement park, we're strapped in a ride, and you might be on a roller coaster, you might be on a kiddie roller coaster, you might be on a merry-go-round, whatever it is, but you might be just walking the park. This is our ride. This is our human journey. Let's find the excitement, the pleasure, the love, the compassion, the allowing, the flow, and the unfolding of life. We're fortunate to be here. And how do I know we're fortunate to be here? Because people don't want to die. They're trying to elongate their life and people don't want to die. And I think dying is a beautiful part of life.
Yes.
But we don't want to die. So there's a beauty. We're lucky to be here. We're lucky to be alive. And let's just start enjoying our humanness and celebrating our humanness.
That's confirmation.
Yes.
Okay.
That was
confirmation. Yes, Nick, you got it. I mean, did you see where we're trying to tell you? Just embrace being human. You're going to get it.
And I'm saying it to myself too, because if I didn't have so much resistance about myself, it would not have come out like that. So you could see I carried the same resistance to me. It would have come from a place of compassion. It would have been a place of more love because I've arrived there. So some of what you've witnessed is an indication that I struggle with being a human. I do. And I'm like, I should know this, Manal. Just because you know it doesn't mean that you're embodying it and living it and
Exactly.
feeling it.
Oh my God. We're mirroring things
Mhm.
that we need to
Yes.
address, like pockets. We know these fragments. Wow.
Yes.
Manal.
Yes.
So, if you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening in the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Okay, I'm creating one for this show. It has something to do with catwalk. Just strut down that catwalk like you own it. Just strut, not even walk, just strut down that catwalk like you own it. Just strut down that catwalk. You own it. Just strut down that catwalk. You own it. That's the quote that I'm going to leave for the legacy of worthless, because we are worthless.
How can people reach out to you, Manal?
Would love to hear from your listeners. And of course, we're going to do another one. So, listeners, tell Nick what we should talk about in questions, because this was so much joy and it was so delightful. They can reach me on my website, www.mattain, MATTAIN.com. Mattain means, Manal means attainment. So I put an M in front of attain. So it's Mattain, which means attain the life you desire. So come to my website. You can find me on Insight Timer. It's Manal Mattain. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. It's Mattain by Manal. So MATTAIN by Manal. Sign up for, be part of my tribe. And there's how to be happy on there and the 10 steps for happiness and all these different things. So just come and let's play. Just let's play together. Let's play in this human sandbox of our four bodies, our physical, our emotional, our mental, and egoic, and let's just celebrate being.
You are made for the stage, Manal. Any last messages for our listeners before we wrap this up, Manal?
Yes. I love you, Nick. You are a bottle of champagne. I'm going to say this. We were describing this about one of my neighbors the other day. You are just this beautiful, fizzy uh, uh, energy of beautiful, embodying beautiful radiance and energy and truth and wisdom. And you are a gift to all of your listeners and to everybody. You are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And listeners that are here, you're beautiful, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be listening, because we're vibrational and we're all attracting and we're all seeking. So let's have fun, enjoy, have an adventure, laugh and play and cry and enjoy this amazing life that we are blessed to have. Let's seek together. Let's discover together. Let's laugh together. Let's cry together. That's my last final message.
Manal, you are an earth angel. You are a light worker, and I love the work that you do, Manal. You are incredible, splendid, magnificent, all of the nouns that I could. You are a unicorn. You are one of one. So I'm here to also remind you that you're human, and we saw it live here that you were resisting when you were, you were frustrated, and you are on the right path, Manal. So that's my give back to you. And I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you so much. I can't wait to play again.
Yes. So we're going to wrap it up today. That is a wrap on today's inspiring episode with Manal El-Ramly. Thank you, Manal, for your work and your wisdom and your dedication to continue uplifting the world. And for all of our listeners, this has been your Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you've ever felt worthless, remember you are not alone. Your soul chose to be here, to matter. And for that reason alone, you are worthy. A huge thank you to you again, Manal, and to all of you for listening. Until next time, I am Nick Nierras. Keep shining, keep growing, and always remember, you are worthy and you are enough. See you in the next episode. Thank you, Manal, for your time and your love and your energy. Hi, Manal. Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Good morning to you, Nick. But I think for you, it's good afternoon or even early evening.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Well, thank you for reaching out and thank you for saying yes to be interviewed today. I'd like to introduce myself to you formally and to all of our listeners listening in right now. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, today we're going to talk about addressing wordlessness, the using the method MATTAIN. And okay, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to all of our listeners first, and then we can get right into the conversation.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So, everyone, we have Manal El-Ramly here with us. Manal is an engineer, entrepreneur, spiritual seeker, and a TEDx speaker, insight timer teacher, and author. Whoa, so many hats. Now, Manal empowers others to discover their truth and live from a place of joyful surrender. Drawing from 3 decades of experience, she developed the MATTAIN method, a simple 5-4-3-2-1 system harnessing engineering precision with compassionate wisdom to facilitate lasting change. Wow. Welcome to the show, Manal.
Thank you.
Love this episode? Now, transformation doesn't end here. Head on to at holistic.lifestyle_with_Nick. That is on my Instagram. Or head on to my website, www.denierras.holisticlifestyle.com for more info on my coaching framework, which is the Worthy, Authentic, and Abundant Framework, digital guides, and my upcoming events such as retreats and master classes and workshops. Now, I also do intuitive readings where we get to check on your soul path